Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being here, where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And this video is about why the narcissist is not a tortured soul. We've got to stop projecting these ideas, right? Because they don't make sense. Let me explain. I'm an undergrad in psychology. I've studied peak performance, personal development. I've coached and mentored so many people now, right, outside of narcissistic abuse, actually, on behavior and all that kind of stuff. And in psychology, we do want to understand cause and effect, right? But without understanding the spiritual context of what's really going on, there's always a piece missing, because we're projecting why we would do it. I mean, one of the biggest myths we've got in the psychology field right now is these are just traumatized children. I have worked with and been around, unfortunately, so many narcissists, right? A lot of them didn't go through much trauma at all, but a lot of the people here have immense trauma, and they haven't turned into narcissists. Quite the opposite, right? Often many people will almost self-destruct from this, not turn into narcissists. So it's not a strategy for coping with trauma. Actually, it's not proven. It's just a myth. We're trying to understand why someone would behave that badly. Let me set you free. They're not a tortured soul. I'll tell you why. Your soul can't be tortured, right? Your soul is infinite. It's the purest, most truthful, most connected to God part of you. So in order to be evil and do what they do, they detach from their soul completely. They are operating with an entity of consciousness that we're calling narcissism, which is why they all act in the same way. Their behaviors, you see, again, psychology is complicating this. And it's not complicated. A narcissist will follow in exact sequence. They will love bomb you, they will hoover, they will devalue, they will discard, they will repeat, yeah? And even with all these technical terms, is it a malignant? Is it a covert? Is it an overt? You know, all this means is some of them are more introverted, some of them are more extroverted, and some of them are more evil. It's very simple, actually, because it's all the same thing. And when we see that, then you know what you're dealing with. And it's so much more than a personality disorder. And consciousness is like being under the influence, right? So they've made a spiritual choice. I want to make it clear to you, they are not in a human blackout. They know they cause pain. They enjoy that. It gives them power and control. They are like a computer. It's like the Matrix, like this computer system. They're like a virus in the system. They're distortion on the planet, right? That we're giving too much power right now. Yeah. And it's just there to destroy humanity, our evolution. So they're dehumanized because they're detached from their soul. They're dehumanized, which is why they try and dehumanize you. It's not because they feel so much shame and guilt. You'd see a narcissist, they will be absolutely terrible and they'll not have any guilt, remorse or shame. In fact, they'll blame you, and they're not projecting their feelings about themselves. They have, see, how can in the same breath, all these people are saying they've got an over emphasized ego, and which they have, and you know, they think they're better than you. They do. They've got contempt for people with hearts and empathy and compassion. But in the same breath, people are teaching that and then saying, oh, but inside they're really insecure. These people are not insecure. They are arrogant. They think they can get away with it. They think they can do whatever they want to you, right, with no consequences. And they don't live in guilt and shame and remorse. Imagine that. They wouldn't be able to carry on with it. That's what's missing. So you can't, these ideas we've got going around that they lack empathy, but then secretly they're really disturbed. They're not. They are the ones that cause trauma. They're not just traumatized children. And I hate comparing narcissists to children, because children are innocent, narcissists are not. I mean, you can get narcissistic children. I'll do another video on that. And they're not tortured about it. The reason they seem to get off scot-free is because that's what they think they're entitled to do. They're not guilty. They don't feel guilty. And sometimes they're an energetic match because they don't feel guilt to not having consequences. So we have to have zero tolerance. So they are dehumanized because they're detached from their soul, which is why they dehumanize you. It's not about they're projecting like their self-hatred on you. They're just dehumanizing the most human parts of you. They're literally wired to attack. Right? So what to do about it? Break psychic ties, know what you're dealing with, study my videos, especially my earlier ones on spiritual context, about their karma, about the energy thing. Come into Sovereign. Sovereign is life-changing, game changer. We're dealing with this on a multi-dimensional level because that's how we set ourselves free. But don't make any mistake what you're dealing with. This is not like so many people are spending more time trying to figure out why the narcissist is the way they are, right, than actually healing themselves and coming home. And the reason we do this is human nature, right? Because, and honestly, it's because we care. It's because we want to give people, like, we want to understand them rather than condemn them. And that was one of my biggest problems. Until God literally downloaded me, like, the absolute truth on this, I wouldn't stop trying to fix narcissists, heal narcissists, believe I could change for them, believe I could help change them. I didn't understand what this was. Now I do. I understand it crystal clearly. I've been given it. And it's written in scriptures. It's ancient wisdom. It's just stuff that we have been basically misguided on. And some of the narratives out there, especially when people are like almost worshipping these narcissists who are making it so complicated and almost glamorized, right? These are not our heroes. These are people that have really caused a lot of harm, right? And yes, sometimes it's really useful information, like, to hear it, but sometimes they're getting off on, again, this status that, because what it does is it takes away the seriousness of this abuse. And it is so serious. I've almost lost my life several times over this, right? And it is so serious. I think it is so serious when you're narcissistically abused. You can lose years of your life. Some people will not recover, which is why I've decided to be so passionately doing this work, right? It wasn't necessarily what I thought I would do, but like, just because, you know, I thought I would heal and maybe never even want to think and talk about them. But actually, it's been such a significant part of my life, such a significant breakthrough to be free of it and understand it. And it's like so important right now because we have got this kind of distortion that is got out of hand. It's out of balance on the planet. So people are saying, like, people in power, you know, we've got narcissistic systems and stuff. We have it. It's systemic in our society because we haven't seen it for what it is, and we've tolerated it and given our power away, not knowing, through manipulation, through not understanding what this is, and too much like trying to understand them and be compassionate and empathetic to them, which is our problem, rather than knowing what it is. As soon as you know what emotional abuse is, as soon as you know what psychic attack is, as soon as you know what's really going on and what these entities are, then it's like you can see what to do about it and set yourself free. But why are we spending so much time trying to understand why they did what they did? And this is almost in films, like sometimes we see like the baddie, you know, we see what happened to him as a child and then why he turned dark. I think that is just a pacifier that we've been fed as a society to make us think that everyone's good, you know, that people aren't actually evil. No, people are evil, trust me. I've seen the devil in this lifetime several times in the form of people that you wouldn't expect. So no, evil exists, and it's not necessarily caused by anything apart from a spiritual choice. And that's what I want you to understand. They're not in a human blackout. They chose to go dark. They know they're dark. They think they're better than you. They're contemptuous of their victims. They have absolutely no empathy or care for those people. They will take everything they can from you and then try and destroy you. Dangerous entities, right? They're dehumanized, which is why they dehumanize you. They try and steal your humanity from you so that you can just be a battery source on what they need you to be, because you're not allowed to be your authentic self. If you want to step into your authentic power and truth, you've got to come into Sovereign. It's such a great program. If you want to enter the draw for that, share any one of my videos and email me and just say that you shared it, and I'll enter you into that draw being drawn on January the 1st. I love you guys. Please keep commenting, liking, subscribing. Thank you for being here, and I'll speak to you soon.